and to have you on Spaces for the first time. It's been a minute since we've chatted formally, and I'm super excited to share a little bit more about what you guys have got cooking up. And it's really cool to see the growth of minted merch. So, I'll just kick it over to you guys to get started. How we doing?
Well, thanks for having us. It is our very first Farcaster space. But what's really cool is even though it's the first time, it feels very intuitive because a lot of this is reminiscent of Twitter spaces, which Sav and I have spent countless days and hours doing in the past. So that's kind of cool.
1,000,000%. I think the fact that the Farcaster algo has been very like cozy corner with just like asynchronous conversation, and like people meeting on some other application somewhere separately to have like synchronous conversations. It can be really cool to just have anyone from anywhere at any point in their Farcaster journey come up and like say their opinion and get like immediate feedback. And I think that's really powerful. Right, and like you said, reminiscent of X Spaces, there's so many powerful things there, but the quality of different things that have improved a lot since they started it out with the demo and the beta, and slowly started uh, releasing the spaces to more folks. So I think it's been really cool to see the slowly over time the different improvements, like on the mobile app, you can actually now press on the emoticon and then spam on a button as opposed to not being able to do that before, which is pretty cool. And that's something
Oh,
like you have to do a little like neat trick to do that on Twitter so
yeah.
properly. So that in and of itself is cool. Right? Like so there's small thing and like that, as well as I was mentioning a little bit before talking about Nikki Sapp and creating Juke audio, which is recording the convo right now, which is really cool. But also the fact that starting the space on a Farcaster front end client that maybe doesn't have nearly as many users as a client, but then being able to all have the conversation here, and listen in on Quorum or on Juke Mobile is a really powerful thing that like anyone can create their own front end, and maybe even one of the clients that you guys are building, right? Like you can integrate a spaces feature specifically tuned to your community. And I think that's the like real cool level up here of what could be possible. So I'm excited to see what happens here, in a few months and how people build this into their ecosystem because Juke and Nikki has created a way to create API keys for other developers where something that I'm trying to do essentially is create my version of light spaces using his backend infrastructure and kind of continuing off of what Nikki has done and continues to build and improve. So I think that's really cool is the composability of all that, where I can start a space on my client using Nikki's technology, but also being available to other clients available throughout the Farcaster ecosystem.
Lego blocks on Lego blocks. That,
Yeah. Is there a time limit to these? Like,
I
I think
don't think
Farhouse
so.
used to have an hour time limit when that
It's
first came out.
definitely longer than an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, I know my homie Iman was running a bunch of spaces before, just like rocking music, meeting folks on Farcaster, really just getting a lay of the land. And he was definitely doing like more, 4+ hour space. I think the first one he did was like 24. So that was pretty cool to see that if the host leaves, like it doesn't just like rug out. There have been some like rugs here and there, I know, but a lot less, I think, percentage wise than I've seen on on X Twitter.
well, that's dope.
Yeah, no, I'm
Hopefully, we
excited
don't get
for
back
them
to
to.
marathon spaces again like we did on Twitter because I don't miss those days. But I like these little cozy corner 1 hour infomercials.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely a time and a place for different things, and it can be really powerful. I think as it is, everyone's just like right now head down building in whatever capacity they're at and doing what they can to support their community in what way there is right now in Farcaster, right? With the amount of folks. But I think the different tech has evolved so much in the last 6 months. If builders building on top of the Lego blocks like we were talking about, but then also just Farcaster as a whole, improving the network, the protocol, the different folks here. I think there's going to be a real cool boom of people coming back and being like, oh, wow, this is in place. Oh, wow, this is in place. And not even necessarily knowing like all of the back end improvements and infrastructure that has become kind of, things that have been tested throughout, but like slowly just added into the tech over time. Because just like seeing people like you build other clients, uh, people, other folks that are non-technical start to build clients, and just people thinking of their own custom front end. I think that's how Farcaster survives, is different individuals bringing people over to their custom front ends to interact with the back end of Farcaster. So with that, I would love to dive into what you guys have created here, a little bit about the design studio and run through it.
Yeah. So little preface, new feature in the Minted Merch mini app, but you can
Oh,
also
actually, do you
access
want
it
to share
on.
a little bit about Minted Merch first? Let's do a little on that for
Yeah.
those who don't
Pat,
know.
you take that one away.
Gosh, this really does kind of feel like old school spaces. I'm multitasking here. We've been doing minted merch on Farcaster pretty much since we started with Farcaster. It transitioned with us over from Twitter days. So it was actually just born out of the love for Web3 communities that we were in. And Sav and I got together, and there were quite a few NFT communities that we were really, really bullish on and had like large bags invested into, and all we wanted was a simple t-shirt, and we couldn't get a t-shirt. So we just thought, well, how can we get creative and use our own IP to create merch and put it out there? So I put my artist hat on and started playing with some just unique ideas that would apply to everybody's sense of style, I guess, so it wouldn't just look like it was my NFT slapped on a shirt. And that's how Minted Merch was born. So Sav was doing the dev side of things and built out the very first version of our Minted Merch website. But with that being said, that was towards the tail end of things kind of dying down on Twitter. We saw a shift of builders obviously move over to Farcaster. So he and I jumped over to Farcaster, and we were trying to figure out, where does Minted Merch fit in on Farcaster, with the dev skills that Sav already had. And back then, we were using frames still. So you could actually buy merch through frames. And that's kind of how we started slinging merch on Farcaster, was early days with Ham and TNX 100 and stuff like that. So we've kind of been building Minted Merch and putting merch out there through all of the phases of Farcaster. And we've tried to partner up with brands and projects and people that are building on Farcaster and do kind of like curated selections so that people had a place to go and, maybe buy a banker hoodie or a ham hat or something of that nature. There are a lot of startup costs with putting merch out there, which is, I guess, why he and I were getting frustrated, because we'd be waiting for a t-shirt from our favorite, NFT whatever project, and it wasn't coming. But that's because there's minimum order quantities and high cost, and you have to have just a ton of space to store that stuff. So he and I just started over the last few years simplifying that and making it easier and quicker to get merch, Web3 merch, in people's hands. So that's kind of the basis of Minted Merch, and how it started on Farcaster was just him and I putting our heads together and just saying, how can we get products to people's hands faster so they could show love for the chain that they're repping or the NFT project that they're into. And because Farcaster has changed so much, we've kind of just rolled with each evolution of it. I don't remember what came after frames. I know for a while people were able to tip to kind of claim a hat or a hoodie or a shirt. But I think it really started to stick when Sav was able to build out the mini app. And the mini app has also evolved. So you guys will probably touch on some of that. But with the mini app, we ended up kind of rolling in tokenomics kind of into it. So we have a token that's associated with it. And obviously there's perks if you're a holder. There's a whole lot to dive into because we've been doing this on Farcaster now for the past couple of years. But basically it just started because we wanted to have access to merch that wasn't getting put out there fast enough. So we started partnering with projects and chains and just different people that are in the space to figure out like how can we get this out to. Sorry if my audio cuts out. I was getting a call.
No worries, we're back.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, that's a little bit about Minted Merch. Is we create really cool merch and we try to partner with creators and artists that are creating, whether it's on Farcaster or on Twitter, just in blockchain and Web3 period, and get quality merch out there fast without the hassle of high upfront minimum order quantities and costs. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that so far. And just excited to see where else it goes and how we can evolve and keep building with the brand.
I love it. Thank you, Kat. That was a great intro.
Thanks. I rambled a lot. So if there's anything that I missed that I missed, let me know and I'll touch on it. Like I didn't touch on the merch moguls and all of that stuff. I think Sab's a little bit better with that because he's a numbers guy, so he could always shoot some of that out there. But yeah.
Well, you covered a lot. So, I mean, to touch on the merch mogul stuff, for those that don't know, a merch mogul is somebody who stakes 50 million or more minted merch tokens. And you can do quite a lot with that. I mean, you get to spend a claim every day for staking rewards. I think we're at like 33 point something percent APY right now. Not financial advice, of course, but you can spin to win tokens every day, free physical merch delivered to you for free, no shipping costs or anything like that. And now if you're a mogul, you can order a free custom with that. On top of that, you get 15% off the shop store-wide. That's on any products, customs and all. You get free background removals in the app when you're designing, which otherwise are 25 cents each for non-moguls. You earn minted merch tokens every time one of your designs sells. So if you create something dope and share it and somebody else also thinks it's dope and decides to buy it, you're going to earn some minted merch tokens for that. You get access to exclusive missions. To give out a few examples, people were earning 1 million minted merch tokens just yesterday for sharing out their new designs, reacting on casts that we drop, things like that. Very simple things and ways to earn more tokens. Exclusive roles in our Discord. I mean, the list can keep going on, but just a way to get involved with our community and kind of have some skin in the game and get along on this ride with us. Kind of the reason behind it and why we did it and then decided to drop a token, because I know a lot of people probably think, hey, these guys are crazy. They're just a merch company. Why are they dropping a token? But it's really that. I mean, there's no really other way to be aligned in the crypto space without having a token. It's a way to show that you have skin in the game, and the price can go up, the price can go down. My bag's just going to keep going up as far as how many tokens I got. And when you believe in something, I mean, that's just what you do. But off the token thing, back to what we just released.
I do think it's important. I'll touch on that because I created the ZABAL as a token because I didn't want the way I was creating the ZABAL, the ZAO, I wasn't trying to create a liquid token with that. And I wanted to have a personal way that I could use some of the utility of having an ERC20 out there, but being able to create different things like fun, different giveaways or little games that could be included in leveraging tooling like this permissionless capital that can be shared and raised and lowered and increased and lowered. And I think there's so many cool places where you can add a token gate for different things, for building out your kind of your top. People always say if with 1,000 true fans, you can really do a lot of damage, and being able to leverage understanding where those 1,000 fans are, like the people that are going to spend those like hundreds of dollars a month on what you're building versus like the people who are going to maybe spend $10 or $20 a year, and being able to cater to both of them. And I think the token and being able to see everything on chain and being able to like follow that can be really powerful for that.
Extremely. Couldn't agree more.
Awesome. Do you want to walk us through I think it was cool to hear the frame, the mini app story, and like how you guys have been really cooking with the mini app. Do you want to share a little bit more about what you guys have recently released with the design studio? And then let me pull it back up here on the stream. And then we can rock through a little demo.
Yeah. So with the design studio, kind of a lot packed into it. Like Kat said, I put a lot of hours into this one, kind of just on the whim of an idea and a thought one evening. Rolled out into, now we got 5 custom products you can design on right out the gate. And again, this is V1, so if you find bugs, please let me know. But 5 products out the gate to design on, 4 ways to upload images. So you can do it either just your profile image, you can do an image from your camera roll, you can take a photo right there on the spot. Although I don't know why you'd want that on a piece of merch, but hey, some people like particular things, and I'm not going to stop you. You can pull a photo in from a cast, which I think is my favorite feature. You can hit the little share extension on any cast and actually click the Mint and Merch app as long as you have it saved. And it'll pull in the photo from that cast and load it in the design studio automatically for you. And you just select your product and start creating. I thought that was a pretty cool feature. And again, one of my favorites, but you can also enter in a URL if you got a photo link somewhere online and pull that in there. On top of that, you got 3 different ways you can upload that image. Edit that image after you upload it. So you can crop it, you can rotate it, and you can also remove the background, which we touched on a little bit earlier, which we're charging 25 cents per background removal now because processing ain't free. And surprisingly, background removals are one of those things that aren't so free. So again, 25 cents for those, but free if you're a mogul, 3 a day. Currently, I might have to drop those to 1. But we'll see. Again, experimenting. But so once you decide on your product, you get your design on there, you generate your mock-up, you can then share it in a little mini app embed, and it's going to have a picture of your merch there on the left. It's going to say you created it, and not only can you buy that piece of merch, but anybody that clicks into that mini app embed can then buy your piece of merch. And if you are a merch mogul, like we touched on earlier, you'll earn 1 million minted merch tokens every time one of your designs sells. And we're sharing our screen right now, Zal, right?
Yes, sir. Oh shit.
I'm going to take that as a yes.
I said it in the chat, in the stream accidentally and forgot I was muted here. Yeah, we're good to go. You're
Awesome.
You're live. If anyone wants to pop on, feel free to go to zabalgames.com/live. I'll put in this chat that will give you either the YouTube or the Twitch, whatever you want to choose, and you can see it right there.
Amazing.
Go for it.
All right. So what we're looking at now is the desktop site version, but the mini app's going to look very similar. It's just going to kind of cut it off on the edges here. But I'm already signed in with Farcaster, and you can see my little PFP on the right here. If I click on that, I can see a lot of info in here, like how much I got staked, how much is in my wallet, my minted merch mojo score, my Nanar score. I can share that if I wanted. I can dive into my staking dashboard, my merch mogul missions, my partner dashboard. If you're selling merch with us, you'll have a partner dashboard that your orders get pushed to, so you can view when you're getting paid out and things like that. You can see your merch mogul status, any connected wallets you have, previous order history, a lot packed into this little modal here. But getting into the design studio itself, you got a list of different products you can choose from up here at the top. And if you had any payouts available to you, there'll be a little green button up here at the top you can easily click into and claim, and all that's pretty automatic. And below that list of new products, you can see your past mockups. And this is a thing I feel like a lot of people look over. But you can click the little 3 dots here, and there's 3 different options. You can delete it, of course. You can buy that design right on the spot, or you can share it on Farcaster. And if you click that, you can share it in a cast right away, which I believe that'll open me in. And yep, that'll open a new tab on desktop. And if you're on the mini app, it'll just minimize it.
Yeah,
I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah, we're not seeing the new cast, but I imagine it shared it. It was cool to see that you have the copy as well.
Yes, and that's the option I probably use the most, because I'm usually in a comment section dropping a piece that I just created in there, or I'm going into a group chat and dropping something in there. So you can copy that cast text and drop it anywhere. On top of that, if your order sells, it's not showing it on this one for some reason, but in my mini app it says down here that this shirt's had 2 orders on it.
That's cool.
That was the one I previously deleted, that's why. But yeah, getting back to creating a design, and I pulled in one of Zal's images he's been working on. So we'll go ahead and slap that on a hat was the plan, right, Zal?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we're going to click into a hat. and you're going to get all your different color options you can choose from. And what are we thinking?
I think we just go with the black top left.
All right. I love it. So then you get to your image selection. And again, we can pull in our profile picture. We can insert a URL. A little bit too late to pull it in from a cast. We want to go into a feed and pull it from there, but we're just going to go ahead and upload one. And I got it pulled up here in my downloads. And then we get to the point where we can remove the background, which I imagine we're going to want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. I've used all 3 of my free background removals for the day. Okay. Well, that doesn't make for a great example.
No, maybe
my
I'll
wallet
have to
is
do
not
it.
connected, so I'm going to back out really quick and connect my wallet.
That's funny.
Bear with me, chat.
Oh, no, this is beautiful. It's a good example.
And we're going to go back in there and we're going to try that again, because now I can pay for my background removal.
It shows how much you're cooking. That's funny.
Oh, where am I going here?
If anyone has a question and wants to come up, you're welcome to as well.
Oh, I'm cooked. Too many downloads. I need better organization, chat.
I do think that is something that's like gonna be unparalleled in the next like 3-4 years, especially like with the ability to give AI access to all your like documents and stuff is its own challenge. And some people are just going like, I heard this term claw dogging it, and I think that's hilarious. But at the same time, I don't feel comfortable just saying like, okay, like delete stuff, right? Like that you think is like not important, right? Because it's like I don't feel confident in that at all. But like organizing stuff is great. One of the things I've been doing recently is I've just been iterating and having more documentation on how I do my workflow. And I think that's been really helpful in like feeding that to the AI in whatever way I can. But
hell yeah. So I found a bug in the app, and after you use your 3 background removals for the day, it looks like it's not letting you purchase one for some reason, at least on desktop. I thought it was working on the mini app, so I'm going to look into this later, but we're going to skip background removal for now and get to our cropping step. And now we can crop a circle. We can crop a rectangle. For this hat's purpose, we'll go ahead and crop a circle on it.
That's perfect, actually. Honestly, I don't mind the not removing the background because it's black hat. So I do, okay, we might need to make it bigger. That's beautiful. I love it.
But also want to say too that we still on the back end see and approve designs and push things through. So we'll be able to kind of catch if somebody wasn't able to like properly remove the background or if it glitched out or something like that. We'll see it on our end and be able to correct that.
I love that.
That's a very good point. There's a quality control checkpoint before these orders actually get processed and sent out. So if you intended to remove a background and we notice that in your mock-up, I mean, we'll make sure it's cleaned up before it pushes through.
I think that's the cool thing about that's my favorite thing in Web3 is just like customer service you get from founders. So it's really cool to hear, like, you guys know that these guys will be touching each one and making sure that it all gets checked out and reaching out if there's something that there might be questionable. So that's always cool.
Yeah. Heck yeah. So here we'll generate our realistic mockup. And this usually takes about, it says 5 to 15 seconds, but it's usually 10 or less. It's working its magic, and voila.
Amazing.
I can zoom in a bit here. But you should be able to see it's actually embroidered on the mock-up there.
That's very cool.
So it gives you a really good idea on what that hack's gonna actually look like once it gets printed or embroidered.
Yeah. Can we make it bigger? The thing?
The logo?
Yeah.
That's as big as it can go right now. And that's because
that's as embroidered.
The size we uploaded, and embroidery only allows you to go so big.
Yeah.
It is pretty limited.
That makes sense. Sick.
Why can I not zoom? There we go. And we're back. So then from here, you can buy your design right away. That'll bring up usually a size chart. In this case, it's just a hat with your single color. So you would just add it to your cart in this situation. You can then go to your shop and check out. That'll open up your cart. You can see I'm getting my discount because I'm a merch mogul. Oh, let's not show those.
Oh.
Good thing that's my old address. So go ahead and send all the hate mail you want there.
That's funny.
Oh, clearing our cart. And if we go back in there, we'll see that we got that mock-up now in our previous list. And again, we can share that whenever we wanted. We can go back and buy it later if we didn't have money in our wallet at that time. But that's kind of the quick overview of how the design studio works. Streamlink is not working.
Interesting. It works for me. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, we will have a recording, hopefully.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. So, for any that
we
did
should
not
have.
see all that
We're
live,
doing two back. We have a backup as well as the recording. So I think we should be good. We should have two recordings. But at presidency, what exactly are you seeing? Because I know it was having an issue in the mini app at one point because like Twitter was. It does say 404 not found. What the hell? That's so rude.
So rude.
Farcaster, come on. I'll let me cast about this real quick, and hopefully they'll fix it at some point. Because if I type it in this one, zabalgames.com /live, it literally pulls up a mini app. So ZM app Farcaster, come on, you drunk? Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should actually be helpful. Get a 404 on a link that should work as it does in this. Maybe I typed it in wrong. I feel like, no, it looks right. As it does in this cast. And then at presidency, this one will work, hopefully. Try this. Yeah, interesting. Okay, we might have found two bugs today. One for Farcaster Space and one for the Minted merch moguls. Okay, boom, casted.
Boom, casted.
Cool. Like that, it was that easy. I love it. And yeah, I'm excited to try out some more. I have some ideas for different things, and it's nice and easy to test things out and try things out and share it out and get feedback with the feed, which is really cool. So I'm stoked. I think there's cool things ahead. I don't know if you want to share more about the design.
I do want to show one more thing. On the bandanas and the pet collar bandanas, there's also an option to run a tile pattern on it.
Ooh.
Which I thought was pretty cool. And you can rotate it 45 degrees. Although that makes it look like an N, so maybe don't do that. But yeah, then we can generate a mock-up from there. And there she is.
Amazing. I love it. It's that easy. I like that you guys made it nice and easy. I think I would if I wasn't a merch mogul before, I would just to play around with this. So I'm excited to play around with it. I'm excited to try things out. I'm excited to share my ideas to the feed because I'm not a big design person, but I'm excited to see what other people do as well, and snagging a couple other pieces of merch from some folks that I know will definitely be making some. So it's really cool to see you continue to build and grind, and now this is the real cool addition to the Minted merch fold.
Thanks, man. Yeah, super stoked about it. Excited to keep building on it. Like I said, this is V1, so a lot more work to do. But the main goal from the get-go is keep it simple, stupid. Good old saying from the moving industry. When in doubt, kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. But simplification. So yeah, that was the main goal with this, and I think we achieved it quite well. And again, got some work to do. I'm happy to keep doing it. But yeah, I also wanted to show a little bit of columns, which is the Farcaster client I've been working on, which all merch moguls have exclusive access to start using. and it is meant to be a desktop client, but I also built out the mini app side of it, so you can view your columns on there. And let me see if I can share. Did that work? It did. Cool. So here is columns, and exactly like it sounds like, you can have multiple columns on one monitor. For me, I'm kind of all over the place all the time. And this is just one of those tabs that I keep open on one of my monitors throughout the day to kind of keep the finger on the pulse as far as Farcaster goes. I got just a general home feed here, which is just time-based. Anyone I'm following, it's going to load in casts as they come in. And these auto refresh every 60 seconds. Yeah. So if you're just sitting here, looking at charts and want to breeze over there, you're going to see
Well, no,
these
it's
stuff.
nice because if you have 4 monitors or something, right, you could easily just plop this on one.
Yeah. And I mean,
This
I
is a
run.
good use case for an extra monitor, right? Like, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Or
Because
get you
some
one of
people,
those tall monitors like I got. And I just have like 3 different browser
and you
windows
can just
open.
see a super long feed.
Yes, that too.
Oh, well, you could also just tilt, if you only like wanted 1 or 2 or 3, right? Like, you could easily tilt the regular monitor, right? And just rotate out 90 degrees. But this
Yeah.
is cool. This is very cool. So yeah, share with some of the different columns you're using.
Yeah. So I got my main home feed here. This
Yeah,
one's a list of different builders on Farcaster that I've, come across over the years that I've kind of just been adding to a list. I got another column of people that are just good casters. They either got interesting or funny casts, or artists I like to throw in here as well.
that's cool.
Um, I got another column here for all our merch moguls, of course. Shout out all of you if you're tuning in or listening in later. But yeah, that way I can, see everything they're posting. There's yours right there. You can like from here. It does take a signer. So, and that gives you the ability to be able to like, recast, quote cast, all that good stuff. You can cast from here, including images. Working on getting video and some other fun stuff, maybe some GIFs in there, maybe some scheduled cast. I used to do a lot more of those back in the day, but not so much anymore. I want to get multi-user sign-in going. I think that'd be really
That's a
cool.
big one that I think will be huge.
Yeah, and being able to view like all of your accounts feeds on one page, right? And then being able
Or
to,
even better, being able to mix and match. Like,
yep,
what would be crazy is I could just sign 2 signers, right? Let's say for me, the Zao account and Zol's account, and then I could see 2 feeds, one
yes,
home for the Zao, one home for for Zol. And as I chat in one and as I chat in another, I'm commenting from one to the other. And I could, like, let's say I could just like pull a cast from one to the other, like, workspace. Let's say maybe you could split it into 2 workspaces, right? And be really like, okay, like, now I want to reply as this person, or maybe like a drop down. I don't know, but it would be really cool to see
so my
multi-user on
visions
something
all
like
would be
that.
like right here where the PFP is, click on
Yeah,
this, and there would be kind of like a selection on your accounts, and you
yeah,
can
yeah,
easily just
yeah,
like
yeah.
click on the one you want
Switch
to be active
over.
on.
That's cool.
But I think that's easily achievable and on my pretty soon roadmap. But yeah,
Yes,
you
I
can
love it.
switch to light mode here. You can drag and drop and reorder your columns here. You can also do it
Yeah,
here.
I'm gonna start using this. I'm excited. It was really cool to just even hop on the call to try this out. So I'll let you know. I'll give you some ideas. I think we need to get some more merch moguls on this because this is sick.
Thanks, man. Yeah, just like I said, one of my daily drivers. I keep this
Yeah.
open all day long, so I'm constantly kind of working on it, tweaking it, just to make it a little bit better here. You can see like the mini app embeds showing up. They don't actually function in here yet. If you click on them, it takes you right into Farcaster, so you can start,
Yeah.
interacting with it. You can see spaces not all the way filled out yet, but they're starting to populate. You got, quote cast embeds, tweet embeds, images. A lot of that's, it takes
Amazing, because
work.
I might have to have, yeah, a longer conversation with you about implementing some of these things in the client I'm building, or vice versa, trying
Yeah.
to create something that's maybe creating an API key where, like, I could bring in a column into my client, right? And I could
Mm,
just be like, okay, like, you have a share column in your client, right? But now
hmm.
maybe you give me an API endpoint that I could build into my client or anyone else, right? Like, for reference. And then there's a setting where, like, I could just like add the ability to add somewhere on the UI, pull in, with a URL, a column, right? And then that could be a really cool, powerful like mechanism to then jump from client to client as well, try and propagate that way. That's what I love about Farcaster is that
Yeah.
like, how can we build more composability?
Yeah. No, I like that. That would be super cool. But yeah, just a little sneak peek of what I've
Keep
been working
cooking,
on.
bro. This is sick. I'm excited. Let's chat in July. Let's have a builder session in July where we just sit down and you can watch me play around with Claude and see how I use Claude, and we can build something on top of a Minton merch thing we've already built in some way, shape, or form. I have a couple ideas. We can chat more, asynchronously throughout the next few weeks. But I'd love to have you guys on in July, build a couple things with you, just like on like an hour long call, like this, honestly, even where people can come in, vibe out, or maybe listen to some music. Oh shoot, people are raising their hands. Let me bring them up. Let me bring them up. Bump bump. We got a squad now. What's up, JD?
What's up, guys?
On. Also, it's awesome hearing that people are building. I just basically finished the bare bones of something that Zal and I figured out together, a poker mini app, which is pretty cool. And it was pretty easy. Just once you go through the documentation and you connect with the social grid, you're able to basically do some pretty advanced actions. I mean, I was able to get a whole unsolved game tree in there. And now I'm just debugging the different tournament options in the lobby. So it's pretty cool.
It's awesome, man. It's fun once you start getting in there and figuring stuff out and the light bulb starts to click and things start working and you're like, yeah, I built that.
Yeah, I was blown away because it's like I've built all these full stack things where I've needed like tons of overhead hardware, tons of like my own customization in order to work, or like it only works on my brother's machine or my friend's machine, type of
Yep.
apps. But
Yep.
like finally having an app that I could just be like, yeah, here's the URL or whatever, and here's this or whatever, it's just amazing. And then also on top of that, like I didn't even think about it, but there's a blind and ante system in poker, and that could be a whole monetary thing that just happens because of the game being played, and then giving that back to the community. Like it's just like there's so many cool things that could happen here. So I'm just so excited that I joined Farcaster a few months ago and met all you people. Honestly,
Heck yeah, man. Well, belated welcome.
thank
Let
you
me
so
make sure I
much.
follow you. I think I saw you in my note. There you are.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I have a couple of good ideas for the ZABAL games here. We're definitely gonna make the next piece. I think the first thing I'd have to do is just make. I mean, I'm not gonna make a sweatshirt for it because I'm not gonna wear that, but like a nice T-shirt or something for the ZABAL games. Maybe get the logo on a hat as well, and buy those as our first two things, and see when we can get it here so that we can make some good content about it. And even like that process of doing the demo of showing how easy it's done, creating it, buying it, getting it, and then being able to show that off during this hackathon as a 3 month long sesh, I think will be a really cool part of the journey and process too. So I'm excited. And, thanks guys for coming in and sharing.
Of course, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. JD, do you have any questions for Savage and Cat before we kind of end this off?
No, I was just saying, I mean, is it basically I just have to keep debugging. I'm using, Google anti-gravity and cursor to just debug this poker app just to get some of the game tree, because literally people can join from the lobby and it gets broadcast that they joined so that other members who they're following know, and then they could join the tournament. And then also, like, if people get disconnected, it disconnects them after a minute. So there's a lot of like little things, especially creating a poker app that's robust. But are there any thoughts that you have as a designer, since I'm so new to the ecosystem?
My biggest thing I would say with building anything Farcaster related is anytime you need to talk to Farcaster, you're going to need the Nanar API in some shape or form. I think I heard you mention something about notifications and notifying people.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Nanar is pretty robust. You
It
know,
is.
I wasn't disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it was like just as long as you just followed the page, basically copied them into your AI, and was able to just be like, "This is what we're doing." It was kind of like plug and play.
Now,
You
you used to
know?
have to be careful because your Nanar bill would run up pretty quickly, depending on what you were doing. Building a
Well,
client a few months ago was like this columns I just showed you. I would have ran my bill up really quick and probably would have went on like a $250 a month plan. I was paying like $49 a month for a while with running minted merch and how many notifications we were blasting out. But they just recently
well,
announced on the dev call that they're eliminating the $49 and the $9 plans, and they're
yeah,
bundling
I
all
saw
that
that.
into the
There's a
free tier.
$500 one or something. Like
Yeah,
I
but you
bought the
shouldn't need that.
storage on Farcaster. I did my back end in render.com and my front end in Vercel. So I was able to tie both ends to Vercel and render.com, and they both run through the mini app. So I hope
Nice.
like it work, you know. I hope I don't incur any. That's the whole thing. It's like I use the amount of, I was saying to Zal when we first met, I was like, the amount of tokens I use is like $30,000 a month, and I don't know how GitHub does not charge me. You know what I mean? They let me get away with it for some reason, but it's just like that's like, I guess they let us developers get away with that, you know, for being developers, which is just beautiful, you know. So I'm just hoping. Do you think with that setup, I'll be all right with having that, doing it that way, and not depending on Nanar as the API provider?
One of the things you can look into also is HATZ is HAATZ through Equilibrium and Cassie is a
Okay.
read-only open API
Yeah, I
that
was gonna
like you
say
can do a
that's
bunch
only
of free
read though.
reads. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
saying
the read side.
I need like heavy write operations, you know, because we're querying SQL databases, you know, for like complex Monte Carlo simulations, like unsolved game theory, you know. So it's like it's quite a feat that I'm surprised that the app even works, you know. Like I was like, Jesus, that, you know, it's just because like I've been working on a professional poker tracker for the past 3 months, you know, so I was able to kind of reverse engineer it in.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it ended up working out. So I think I'll be all right. We'll see once Zal, we'll see once we get people, you know, testing it, what happens, you know? Because it'll be really interesting.
That's the best way to find out. Get people using it. Get
Yeah,
feedback.
and this is the first time I felt comfortable where like everything, my design and everything, like not even my design, just like my product or whatever I made, I'm able to release with immunity and not have to worry about it being like hacked or like abused or like monetary issues or anything like that. Like I'm able to just be like, all right, here's my app, and it's robust and it works, you know, which is like something I've never had. You know, it's always had to be a full stack environment. You need a Docker container, you need Linux, you need this, you need that, you know, like, you know, you need Bitcoin mining hardware as well. And you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's like, you know, it's always been like, you know, full stack. And this is nice that it's just like right in an app, you
Yeah.
know?
No, they've been super. I mean, I'm not a super technical guy. I've never really built too many things before Farcaster outside of, you know, some basic websites. But I mean, it's been super fun learning how to build mini apps at that. Like you said, it's just an app that works. I build it, I release it, I send a link to somebody, then can start using it.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't got to worry about
Awesome.
like getting bit in the ass, like somehow, you know,
Yep.
almost. That's
30% app store fees.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm excited. I had an idea, JD. What if, you know how normally the poker has a rake? What if we burn Zabal tokens instead? Right? So it's this
That's a
like
good
as
idea.
people
Yeah.
play, just naturally it's a helpful thing to
Appreciation.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, like we're all hanging out in this community
How about
thing, and
like,
like
yeah, we
as
did
a
this
net,
well, so we're allowed
just
to
by
burn this
playing,
amount.
yeah, just by playing, you're helping support the ecosystem,
But
even
we
if
could
you're like,
also take that and it's a rate that the house always charges. It's just part of poker
exactly.
rules. So we could delegate that rake out into fractional. Maybe we'll burn like 35% of it, and then have 65% go back to the players who won. You know what I mean, or the players who are in the top seven. Or whatever, or you know what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say,
the
like.
beautiful thing is you can just build anything now, and it's all about just coming in, executing, and trying things out.
Yeah. And I just stumbled upon that monetary thing just by like, I was like, oh yeah, poker, like you have to have an ante and a blind and and bam, wow, okay, I could get a monetary structure just by people just using the app, just because they have to use it. Like, we could end up just basically having those parts of the chips, and even people like, we could even have people purchase, like, if they want to go into special games, do special chips and different stuff. It's pretty interesting.
I think there's a lot we
Yeah.
can do with it, and it's a perfect build for this ZABAL game sesh, especially because we just like randomly were chatting about it in another fireside chat. So I'm excited about more of these spaces. Savage Cat, I'm excited to get my first piece of Zal branded merch. We've been chatting about it for a while, so it's cool that like now there's no like we've gotten rid of some friction points of like the communication needing to happen, right? Like it's this white label process of me being able to go in and just rock it all out myself. And that's really cool. So I appreciate you guys for, keeping on building and continuing to cook, coming on, sharing today. And I'm excited to see what we do in July to kind of collaborate together again.
That's crazy. You keep saying July, and I keep thinking that's a far time away, but
Dude,
that's like
right? It's 10
less than
days.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh man, time flies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, I'm gonna make a piece. I'm gonna buy something, and you can let me know if it looks good, and we'll try and get it here ASAP, and get it shared with everyone. How easy it is to make your own merch. If you're a
Sounds good, brother,
merch
man.
mogul. Awesome. Well, I appreciate all three of you guys for popping up. Do you guys have any last things you want to share? Where people can find you? Of course. I guess it's minted merch dot store.
The website, we got a few places you can get to the shop. So if you're just on a desktop
Dot
browser, you want
shop.
to pay with fiat, you can go to mintedmerch.shop. If you want to get into the mini app, it's app.mintedmerch.shop. We got a coin page at coin.mintedmerch.shop. And then to get to the design studio, it's just app.mintedmerch.shop/create, or just open the mini app and you'll see a big obnoxious button directing you into there. So you can follow at Minted Merch. There's a channel /Minted Merch. Me and Kat are the two founders, just us. So you see us here, feel free to follow us. We try to follow as many back as we can see, although Farcaster blocks a lot of quote unquote spam. So if we don't see your notification, sorry in advance, but doing my best. And outside of that, stay tuned. Either tomorrow or sometime this week, there's going to be another cast coming out, probably from the Minted Merch account. Something to pay attention to might be some free custom merch being given out, a contest. You heard it here first. But yeah, stay tuned.
I love it. I'm super excited. Let me know whenever I can be of help. And glad you guys could share today. And thanks everyone for joining in, listening. I see Joseph Goats in the building down there as well. Shout out to him. We've been working and cooking together. So I think he will be an individual that I would love to get thinking about some merch as well. So thanks for popping in, everyone. And we'll catch y'all soon.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers.